Good evening, everyone. My name is Edenso Oroso. As I said a few minutes back, I have a very special guest with me. She's a highly experienced life transformation mentor, regression therapy expert, #1 Amazon bestselling author, and creator of the forensic reprogramming transformation technique. I'm talking about no other person than Judith Hindle. Judith, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you, Dinsu. Thank you for inviting me.
Judith has used her forensic reprogramming transformation technique over many years to generate highly successful, deep, powerful inner transformation work for her clients worldwide. Many clients come to Judith after having other therapies that have failed and are amazed by the results her work provides. Judith has been on radio, featured in national magazines and podcasts. What an intimidating resume. Judith, let me start this interview with this question that has bugged me all this while. How did your journey as an internationally acclaimed medium begin for you? Where did it all start?
I've always had what I thought were imaginary friends from being a little girl. I've always known things about people from being very, very tiny, and also had past life images in my head from other people that I'd been. Had no idea what it was. I would talk to spirit like you would talk to a human being who was alive. So I would have conversations and speak just like I'm speaking to you now. I knew things about adults and they would say, how do you know that? And I go, I don't know. I would just receive the information and it was always incredibly accurate. However, I had no idea what it was at all. I had a very traumatic childhood. I was in and out of children's homes and foster care. I was a child carer for my mum who had severe epilepsy. And I was quite malnutritioned and very, very poor. So I had, quite a lot of trauma in my childhood, but spirit were always there. And going through my life, I had things that happened. So doors would open and close, stereos would turn themselves on and off. I got feelings and thoughts, but I just didn't even delve into any of it at all through my teenage years, going into my 20s. And then when I was 32, I got meningitis and encephalitis and nearly died. And I had what we call a near-death experience, and I saw an angel, which I've never been religious in the Bible type sense. And I didn't really believe in angels, to be honest, until then. And I now know the angel was Archangel Michael, and all my life flashed. So anybody that's ever had a near-death experience, your life kind of flashes very, very fast in front of you, all different snippets. And I thought, this is it, I'm going to die. And then this voice just said to me, no, you're not going to die. You've got too much work to do. You've been ignoring us. And that was it. And then I started to get better. And when I came home, I started hearing voices and thought I'd gone crazy. So this wasn't an easy journey. It wasn't something that I'd actively pursued. It was kind of dumped on me from a great height very, very quickly at that time.
You are a regression therapy expert. How does it work? How does the regression therapy thing work?
Okay, I love regression therapy. Right, I didn't say everybody, every child, every adult walking on the earth plane is a product of their childhood. They are a product of their environment that they have grown up in, from the people that they have had around them, what's been said to them, their experiences, their traumas, their events, their life, the journey of life. And what happens is, from the ages of 0 to 7, we absorb everything into our subconscious mind because we've got no filter. Our brain hasn't developed the filter yet. And when we are an adult, if we've had traumatic experiences or formed negative beliefs from what's happened to us or the environment we've been in or the teachings we've received, then we recall that and make it our truth. And we don't realize we're doing it. And it can affect every single part. So people like myself, what I went through personally, because I had such a impoverished childhood, I had a lot of money blocks because, you know, I was taught that money was bad, money's not spiritual, rich people are selfish, and all those types of things. So for many, many years, every time I would get money, I would do something to sabotage it, where it left me completely skint again with nothing. Because, and you do this subconsciously, it's what we call subconscious behavior. So when I started on the journey of being a medium, when people were coming to me with their troubles and their problems, I was obviously connecting to source and picking up that they'd had trauma or negative experiences, but I wasn't able to then help them to heal that, if you understand what I mean. So I thought, well, what can I do? So I went off and I learned neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, hypnotherapy, regression therapy, timeline therapy. I went off and learned all those processes, became qualified, and then I started using those therapies to treat people. So what I have done is I've combined everything. And then what I do with the therapy is I take people back to the root cause of the problem. So now sometimes with the regression, the root cause of the problem may not be in this lifetime. It could be something that they have brought over from a previous incarnation, which is why when people go for psychotherapy or psychiatry or counselling, why a lot of people don't get healed is because the actual root cause wasn't in this lifetime. And those traditional therapies do not cover reincarnation or past lives. So the root causes are never found, so people continue to suffer. So regression therapy gets to the root cause and gets rid of the negative emotion association of the root cause, so it no longer follows you in life and you're starting with a clean slate.
Interesting.
It's
In
very
essence, what you're saying, yes, what you're saying is that if a client comes to you with a particular problem, you trace it to the spirit realm. And then if the problem is as a result of a past life, a previous incarnation, you use the regression therapy, the neuro-linguistic programming to resolve that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, it's amazing. And it works every time. It works every time. There's not anybody that it's not worked on.
Great. I'm also aware that you communicate with spirit. That is, like, for instance, people who died some years back, you are able to communicate with them and through them reveal messages to your clients. How does that work?
Yeah, so I've been doing that for the last 15 years, which I'm now obviously starting to change, but it's been formed part of, you know, immeasurable experience for me. So basically, I don't actually know how it works because mediums, as far as I'm concerned, are born, they're not made. Mediums are, it's a natural ability from being a child, because like I said, I've always communicated with spirit from being a child. You can't learn that. You can learn how to connect to intuition, you can learn psychic connection, but actually communicating with spirit world and channeling spirit is not something you can learn. You are born with that ability if you're meant to do it. And basically it's like a telepathic link. The only way I can describe it, it's like a telepathic link. So when I'm with somebody, it doesn't matter, don't have to be with them physically, it can be on the phone, it can be on internet, it doesn't matter, because I'm getting the information from a higher source. And it's just like the information will drop into my head. It's very weird, I don't know how it works. Or I will get like an image of like a movie being run, or a movie pictures, and I'll get feelings and thoughts, and I'll pick up on the emotion of the person that's passed. It's very, very, I can't really describe it in words, to be honest, but it's like, I call it a telepathic link. It's a telepathic link.
What sort of messages do you always relay to your clients from the spirit realm?
So basically, if somebody has passed over, they will come through, they will identify who they are, they will, how they've passed away, they will give the evidence to how they've died. Then they will give like people who are in the family, all the connections, people that are with them in spirit. And this is what we call evidence, because you're evidencing that you've got the person that you say you have. And then they will communicate and pass on guidance and information to the sitter, to who's in front of me, guiding them in the life, in the love, with the family, with the career, with the health. The way I describe it to people, Adinto, is it's like when you sat on a train and you're looking out the window, you're in the here and now. So you can just see everything that's passing through the window, and that's where you are. I always say spirit are on top of the train, so they can see what's coming down the track, even though you can't. And they only ever tell you what they want you to know at this point in your life, because we're not meant to know everything. That's not how it works. But if they can stop or guide you from making big mistakes or suffering in some way, they will guide you. Just unfortunately, people don't always listen.
The work of a medium, is it an easy one? Has it been easy for you so far?
No, the actual link is easy. The actual link is like drawing air to me. You know, I don't have to do anything. It just comes very naturally. But you have to be of a certain caliber emotionally to be able to deal with it, because when you are dealing with people, you're dealing with people who are grieving, you're dealing with people who have lost children, who have lost loved ones, who are frightened, who maybe haven't got any hope, or maybe people who are sick that are sat in front of you. So you have to be very, very careful and compassionate and caring and understanding to those people in order to communicate with them effectively. But when you are getting the information from spirit world, you know, sometimes you can receive things that are really upsetting. You can see images that are upsetting, because you've got to give the evidence to the person in front of you. So for instance, you know, I've had people where the husband's been murdered, and you know, you can see the flashes of their last moments, and you know, this can be very, very distressing, to be honest with you. And you have to be, and this is why a lot of mediums suffer with mental health, because they can't cope with what goes with it. So you do have to be a certain caliber of person. You've got to be really, really strong emotionally to be able to switch that off once the client's gone, and not to dwell in what you've seen and the messages you've received. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not all like that. You know, a lot of the time it's amazing, and the evidence that they give you, and they'll have because you don't change personality when you pass over. Your personality stays with you, because that's part of your spirit. That's who you are. So, you know, you can have a lot of laughter and a lot of comic, and, you know, and things like that. I remember doing a platform demonstration once, and this lady came through, and she was talking to her daughter. It was her daughter I was talking to, and she gave me the image of her mother going in and attacking the knit nurse. You remember the knit nurse that used to be at schools back in the day? And because the kids all got head lice, so the mother went in and, like, you know, give the knit nurse a round. And it was like, it's these, and everyone was, you know, everyone was laughing, and it's those kinds of things that are amazing as well. It's not just the negative that you get.
You've helped thousands of people around the world with your therapy and medium activities. Has it been worth the while, financially and emotionally? Has there been?
That's a very interesting question. Has it been worth it financially? Not financially. I'll be very, very honest. Back early on, I didn't value myself or my ability or my work. That was my fault. And a lot of healers, mediums, spiritual people, therapists, we do this because we're healers, and we're giving, and we don't value us. We don't value the vessel that is us. We don't look after the vessel that is us, and we don't put the boundaries in place or the financial exchange. We don't. We do a lot for free. Unfortunately, what happens is you keep giving and giving and giving, then all of a sudden your cup is empty and you can't give any more. And you end up going, and I've done the same myself, taking a break from the work and taking your ability off the market as it was, because you burnt out and you just you burn yourself out. If success was measured by the way I've changed people's lives and helped them, I'd be a billionaire. If the results were money, I would be a billionaire. However, but what I have learned in the last few years, and I have started to change, where I have put my prices up, and because everything's going up in the world and we have to value ourselves. But if you say it's been worth it emotionally, the answer to that question is absolutely, categorically yes.
Of course, while you take care of others, you also have to think about your own welfare. It's very, very important. And
yes.
For those who are just joining us live, let me quickly go through Judy's bio once more. She is highly it's an intimidating bio, and an exceptional one for that matter. Judy is a highly experienced life transformation mentor, regression therapy expert, #1 Amazon bestselling author, and creator of the forensic reprogramming transformation technique, which she has used over many years to generate highly successful, deep, powerful inner transformation work for our clients worldwide. Many clients come to Judith after having other therapies that have failed and are amazed by the results our work provides. Judith has been on radio, featured in national magazines and podcasts. The transformational healing that Judy uses with her clients is unique because it combines therapy, coaching, and spiritual empowerment, which heals the mind, body, and soul. Judith experienced significant changes in her life after healing her own childhood wounds, which she did not realize were the cause of her success and happiness blocks, and has helped thousands of people to release their past, heal their present, and ignite their future with the 30 days to transformation program she provides. Now, there's an interesting thing about Judy. Most of the experiences that we go through in life, the difficulties, the hurdles that we try to overcome, are primarily caused by ourselves, through our thought processes, through our past life situations and all that. These are the areas Judy specializes on with our regression therapy program. And she has helped thousands of people around the world. If you are one of those beneficiaries of Judy's gift, please put smiles in Judy's life. Make her feel that she's doing something worthy. It could be in cash, it could be in kind. How long do we stay on this planet? The highest anyone can live, maybe 170, 150 or thereabout. That is if you are so blessed. And she has been able to put smiles on the lives of others. Why don't we also return the favor by putting smiles on our life? Now that brings me to something very important. You are also a best-selling author. Your book, The True Meaning of Life, became an Amazon bestseller.
That one, the True Meaning of Life. Yes.
The True Meaning of Life. What motivated the writing of this book? Why The True Meaning of Life?
Okay, it was channeled from spirit. So when I started writing this, that was in the height of when I was doing a lot of mediumship work. So I was seeing private clients, and I was actually doing shows across the country to audiences, to platform demonstrations. And spirit just started channeling, what we call automatic writing, where you sit and channel, and it just came through. And they wanted to get the message out to the world of what the true meaning of life is, because so many people are struggling to find meaning and purpose. They are very depressed. You know, we're in a world now where depression is the more bigger killer than cancer is, you know, because people take their own lives and things like that. So they wanted to share the message with what really happens when we die, where we really go, who we really are, that we're an energetic being in a physical body, having a physical experience. So they wanted to explain to people what life is all about and who you really are, and why bad things happen, why we suffer, how we can stop it, how we can change our mindset, and things like that. So, and it's helped a lot of people, which has been amazing.
Lovely. So how has the response to your book been like since it was published?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm so lucky. It's had all 5-star reviews. It went to #1 on Amazon twice, and a lot of people have got in touch with me and said that it really helped them to understand, you know, why they were here in life, what was going on, how to find, you know, to help them find some meaning and purpose, so they don't take things so personally anymore. So they understood why bad things had happened to them in their life. And also it was predominantly about the soul, about what the soul really is, and how we come to be on the earth, and what happens when we go back to spirit world, and about angels, and how we are our own guardian angels, and that we have spirit guides and our guardian that is appointed to us at birth and stays with us through our whole life. And it explains all those things to people, so it's very comforting. I mean, it's written in a way, because I'm a very straight talker. And Spirit have always been very truthful and direct with me, and I am the same with my clients. So, you know, it does make people think. It questions everything that they've believed in up to this point and gives them a bit of a shake. So, you know, even if they don't want to believe it, it makes them think.
Lovely. In these days of mental health issues, how can your therapy help? There's been
With the mental health
litany
issues.
of mental health issues recently. People are committing suicide and all that. How would your therapy help?
The way that the therapy helps it into is because, like I said earlier, we are a product of our thought processes, but our thought processes are caused by our deep-seated beliefs that we're not always consciously aware of. So your beliefs will lead you to a certain thought process and this negative self-talk, as we call it. And your experiences and your traumas and all the things that you've gone through in life all contribute to where you are when you start getting mental health and depression and those issues. And sometimes you get that far in it that you can't switch it off. So basically what the therapy does, and why people are in the state that they're in, is because we are bombarded in life by negativity, and people are in a constant state of fear. And it's not helped by what's going on externally from every channel, from TV, from radio, from newspapers, from media, from other people. There's a very big fear culture. So of course people are depressed, you know, because we're living in a constant negativity, and people have forgotten that they are an energetic being in a physical body. They have forgotten that how to use their intuition, or how to even connect to it. They're not listening to the gut instinct. They're not listening to their highest self trying to direct them in their life. They're letting the mind take over, and that will only lead one way, because your mind will tell you all kinds of untruths, because the information that you're receiving from it is based on the beliefs that you have formed during your lifetime through your experiences and your traumas and what's been told to you and things like that. And a lot of the limiting beliefs we have, a lot of the blocks that we've got in life that stop us from doing things and from achieving success and health and happiness and love and all those things that we are supposed to experience, the things that stop us, a lot of the time, it's not our fear, it's not even our beliefs, it's what we've picked up from our parents or our peers or from our family or our religion or all the people in the world and all the outlets in the world that are telling you how you should live your life, and you are trying to match that expectation for somebody else instead of living the life the way that you want to, in alignment with what your inner connection to spirit is trying to move you towards. And it drives you mad. It just drives you mad.
In other words, what you're saying is that we should polarize ourselves to positivism more than the negative thoughts that buffet us every day and every now and then, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. If you understand it, if you understand why you're feeling like that, if you understand what's caused it, once you start to realize and learn why you think the way you think and what has caused you to do that, and then you can start to change those beliefs, and you can start to replace the old negative belief with the truth, with the actual truth. The way that you live will be completely different. Your life will change drastically for the better. And this is what I try and help people to do.
Okay, let's talk about a very trending topic right now, COVID-19.
Okay.
What is your take on COVID-19? Why is COVID-19 taking place in the world at this material time? Does it have a spiritual implication?
Yes, I believe so. And I spoke to Spirit about this. I've actually done lives on it myself. Basically, Spirit have said that COVID-19 has been given to us and the world in order for us to take a respite, in order for us to take a break, to realise the rat race that we've been running for so long. You know, we weren't put on the earth to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and pay other people to mind our children so we can go to work for 12 hours a day and come home knackered and spend no time with the kids and be fighting to live all the time to earn money. That's making the rich man rich and the poor man poorer. I mean, it's just a constant hamster wheel. And what COVID-19 has also been given to us for is to show how the world can heal, how nature can heal, the animals and the plants and all the damage that we've been doing to the earth, that humans have due to the earth, how it can repair itself in a very short period of time. Because back when we were in full lockdown, March, April, May, by the month of May, the dolphins had returned to the canals of Venice because no people have been on them. So it just shows you how quickly that these things can repair. So it's an awakening. This is what COVID-19, it's the opportunity for an awakening for us, how we live our lives. So if people are suffering in a relationship, say, where they're in a domestic violence situation, because they're being forced together, it's a wake-up call for the person who's being abused to get out. It's like, no, enough's enough, out. It's a wake-up call for us, how we are living our lives, working, that we do jobs that we hate just to earn money. And we are really selling our soul. And it's on multiple layers, it's on multiple layers. It's about us as a human race. It's about being aware of capitalism. It's about showing us the way with the animals and nature and the plants and the earth. It's many, many layers. It's many layers.
So in essence, it's a renewal process for the earth.
Yeah, it's an awakening process. It's an awakening process for humans to see how life needs to change, how we need to work together collectively, that we're all one, that what is in the one is in the whole. What one does affects the whole. So the actions that humans are taking on the planet affects every aspect, every animal, every plant. Everything's got a place in the ecosystem, and you know, we are interfering with that. And this is a time for us to really reevaluate our own behavior, our own lives, and that of the planet, and then start to make the changes and come together collectively to, you know, it's like everything. It's the whole thing. It's like everything that's popped up with the race discrimination, with Black Lives Matter, with all this, it's like all this unrest. It feels like, you know, it feels like the world is breaking down. It's not. It's breaking through to eliminate all these ridiculous prejudices and you know, you are you and I am, and we are separate. No, we are not. Everybody is one, no matter the color of your skin, no matter if you're an animal or a human. We are all one. We are all connected. No one. There should be no separation in togetherness. None at all.
Would you say the COVID pandemic has, I mean, in terms of the impact it wants to leave behind on the global stage now, has it been very effective from the spirit perspective? The awakening, has it been very effective so far with the COVID-19 experience?
I think so. I think a lot of people are awakening, and so a lot of people are starting to question their lives and, you know, why we're here and what is happening. And, you know, a lot of people are rising up, like, you know, against the injustices that have been served on people for a millennia, you know, for hundreds of years. So yeah, things need to change. That the only thing that Spirit would say, and they have said, is they're going about it a little bit in the wrong way. One of my biggest people that I love in the human life, in fact, I'm actually just reading his autobiography, is Nelson Mandela. And even though, you know, when he ended apartheid, and that was just dreadful, when I'm reading the book, I was even moved to tears at some point, that what has gone on in history, and I'm going to say what man has done, the white man, whatever, to overtake people's lives and in their own country. It's just, but people are focusing on what has gone before, not on how to move forward collectively now with the learnings. And the more that you focus in the past and keep dragging up the past, the more you will attract more of the same. So what we need to do now, we need to learn the lessons from the past and realize that the generation we have now haven't got, in the majority, the same mindset as those people who were ignorant back then, because it's passed down from generation to generation. It's passed down. Back then it was a generational thing, because people were ignorant and uneducated and didn't know any different. In the main, they just followed what everybody else was doing. Whereas now we're a lot more intelligent. We've come on, we've evolved, and we're now realizing that what's happened in all the centuries before us has been wrong and against humanity. But what we need to do now, instead of keep living in the past of that, we need to work together to make sure that history is never repeated in the future.
That takes me back to something you mentioned in an earlier interview I had with you on my website. The year 2030 is very significant. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to the world?
Basically, this COVID now in 2020 it's a wake-up opportunity. This is the prerequisite. This is the dummy run, as we would call it. If humanity does not take this opportunity that is being given to us to change, when we get another 10 years down the line, in 2030, a cataclysmic event will happen. So it could be COVID again or something similar, but on a much bigger scale. It could be where the North and South Pole swap, which has happened a few times during the history of the Earth, which was what Spirit call a cataclysmic event, which will take the power away from us and force it. Right now, we are being given another opportunity. We are being given the opportunity to change. We are being given the opportunity to start to heal ourselves, to heal the world, to heal our mindset, to work together collectively, to end prejudice, to end racism, to end all these things that we have been plagued by over the years. But if we don't change things, and return back to love and return back to our connection to source and to spirit, then in 2030, the opportunity and the chance will be taken away from us, and things will happen that will really be very, very a lot worse than they are now. Let's put it that way.
Well, viewers out there, you are listening to Judy Hindle, an internationally acclaimed medium. She has helped thousands and thousands of people around the world. She has a best-selling book, The True Meaning of Life, which you can get on Amazon. You've just heard I say 2030 is a very significant year if humans do not change in their thought processes. If the evil that is pervading the planet Earth does not change, there's bound to be something cataclysmic. And this is not the first time. There was Atlantis, there was Lemuria. All these are civilizations that are much more profounder than what we have now, scientifically and otherwise. They were highly spiritually gifted civilizations, but they ended the way they did. So there's a need for us to rethink from what Judy has just told us. This is a wake-up call for all of us. We need to sit down and begin to examine our lives and see where we can make things right. Let's go back to what you do for a living.
Okay.
Tell us.
What do I do for a living? Oh gosh, I do a few things. So basically now what I'm doing now moving forward into is I'm just started a new book, which is about how to heal your past and move forward so you can ignite your future. It's also, I treat people with the transformation technique that I do to get rid of the negative emotions that they've got from the trauma and their experiences in life and reprogram what's blocking them. So whether it's money blocks or success or happiness or love, you know, that, and all these limiting negative beliefs, how to get over fear. So really my work is changing in a way of passing on the messages from spirit, the teaching, which I will do through books and through lives and through workshops and webinars and things like that. I will channel the information, I will then pass it on. And also working with people individually as well as in groups to help them understand why they are the way they are, understand why they're feeling the way they feel, and then help them to work through it in order to create successful, happy lives where they can fulfill and reach their highest potential, because that's what the original order was. The original order for Earth and for humanity, for the spirit world, is for us to come and live life physically and to become the highest expressions of ourselves that we could possibly be, and to achieve great things, and to, you know, all be connected together and to operate from a place of love. And of course, it's kind of gone off a bit. You know, there's some people that operate like that, but the majority don't. So it's about getting back on course, and it's helping people to understand the true meaning of life and why we're really here, and to educate them and to help them on their path of spiritual awakening. And so they become totally spiritually empowered and move their life forward in a way that they want to create for themselves.
Okay. There's a question that has been bugging me now. In a few words, what's the purpose of life?
Love. Love.
To the best of your understanding.
That's it. Love. And it's the love of self, which, and I don't mean in an egotistical way. I mean love of self as in looking after the vessel that is you, honoring yourself, respecting yourself, loving yourself enough to put boundaries in place, and also loving each other, realizing that we're all interconnected, that we're all one, and moving forward in life and looking after each other and the planet.
Thank you, Judith. So someone just joined us. He's Gary Bone. Gary Bond has lived all his life as an artist, a rebel, and a writer. He has written over 500 short stories. He has published books. He's one of those writers I really, really admire. As a matter of fact, I'm his fan. I told him this few days back, and he also said he's my fan. Hi, Gary. You're welcome.
Hello. Thank you very much.
I was supposed to have an interview with Gary 4 p.m. Nigerian time, but somehow he didn't really gel. So I asked him to join us. Meet Judy Hindle. Incidentally, she's also in the UK. So you guys are next door neighbors.
Right.
Hi, Gary. Hi.
Hello. Well, if you can do anything, Judith. Oh, sorry. All right. If you can do anything, Judith, to get us all working together, that would be good. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely.
So I was just asking Judith about the spirit realm, the messages from the spirit realm, the implications for 2030, which is just around the corner. If human beings, we don't change our thought impulses and our actions and all that, if we don't begin to love boundlessly without ethnic barriers or racial barriers, like what is happening all over the world, what will be the implication? And she said it's going to be a cataclysmic end. Now, just a minute. Let me talk to my friend and brother Gary for a minute, and I'll come back to Judy. So, my sister, hold on for a minute. Gary, so tell me, you're a writer of international repute. How did it all begin for you?
Well, I come from a scientific background. I'm the only one in my family, extended family, without a scientific degree. And so I'm very much a rebel in that respect, and decided I was going to study philosophy. And so I got stuck into that at the age of 14, and I haven't stopped since. That's how I got into it. Like any other writer, I came across information or came across my own conclusions and observations. So I thought, well, other people might want to know that. So I looked at putting that into lecture form, and decided that was really going to be too specialized and small an audience. I attempted to do some of it through painting. That was my medium at the time. I failed completely with that. So I I turned to writing and hoped I'd be able to do this through poetry, but I found that to be too limiting in a way. So in there, then I learned to write novels, and embedded a lot of stuff in those novels, having first ensured that, of course, that the story and the characters would be the main focus. Well, actually, the reader becomes the main focus, but subsequently, I found that I was getting my best results from short stories, and that's really where most of my following has come from. And short stories are definitely the way forward if you've got stuff to say, because you're able to concentrate one concept, preparing the ground for the reader to embrace that concept, see what you're talking about, and then delivering the message as theme, whilst still delivering an entertaining story, which could be in the it could be anything from humor to well, any genre. I don't write in the genres romantic or erotic, because my wife tells me to stick to what I know. There you go.
It's amazing.
Oh, you're breaking up badly there.
What? Engaging right now.
I can't hear what you're saying. It's breaking up badly.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, the connection's gone down, Adam. So your connection's gone down.
All right. Yeah.
We can try reconnecting.
We can't hear you. We can see you, but we can't hear you. Yeah, it sounds like you're talking to a washing machine. It sounds like you're in a washing machine. It keeps coming in and out.
Nope, still nothing.
Like I say, we can see you, but we can't hear you. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I think we're still live, Gary. That was a shame, obviously, because it's like you could see him, but it's like he's talking to a washing machine.
Absolutely, yes. However, I seem to be well connected to you. Possibly there are other people listening. So I don't really know how much. I was being interviewed this morning, and someone said, the interviewer said to me, why should people read your books? And I said, I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
Because if you think about it. Oh, hang on. We may have contact. No. Still very broken.
Okay, we have to here. I'd like to review with Gary, so just start to possible.
No, it's still the same, darling.
Okay. Do sometime for watching my things. I will do something. And thank you all for watching the stream from the table of you
No.
and for Gary Bond.